This film has won many awards and was well received by so many international film festivals. It also has a consistent high rating across different platforms. In this video, I'm going to do a summary of this 2007 Chinese movie made by director Li Yang, Blind Mountain. While this is a great movie to most people, it's not the kind of movie that will help you to down a box of popcorn easily. In fact, it's quite a story to swallow. Spoiler alert! This is Mei. She's a young and innocent university graduate who was promised with a well-paid job by collecting Chinese medicines in a remote village. So she followed this man and this woman to the village. But what she didn't know was that they are in fact human traffickers and they have sold Mei to the local family. Not knowing the true intention of her company, she was drugged, and when she wakes up, her world is turned upside down. The family, which paid a big sum to buy Mei as a bride, wouldn't let her go. To the family, they have every right to keep her. Mei's money and ID cards were stolen, so she can't prove who she is. She begs the family to help her, but letting Mei go would mean a loss of their possession. So they decide to lock her up. The family consists of two elderly parents and a middle-aged son, De Gui. To them, they have their own plan. They're going to force Mei to marry De Gui, and so that they'll have children. And this is how they plan to continue the family bloodline. So on the wedding night, when De Gui is drinking with all of his friends from the village, Mei is kept in the bedroom, tied up and gagged. We then see De Gui running out of the bedroom. But it turns out that De Gui hadn't done anything to Mei. Not yet. All of his friends knew he has never been with a woman. And when De Gui is back home, he was trying to convince Mei to stay and be his wife. But Mei wouldn't budge, and that triggers De Gui. Sometime later, De Gui still couldn't force himself onto Mei, but that made him a laughingstock among his friends. And his parents are also annoyed about this, so the three of them, the parents and De Gui, they go to Mei's room. They rape her. After the incident, Mei is depressed. She tries every way to escape and run to the village's committee office. The governor, sort of the boss of the village, turns a blind eye to this because Mei is not the first woman being sold to the village and probably won't be the last. Mei was then taken back to the family. She's chained like a farm animal. Some days later, seeing no way out of this and no one in the village will help her, Mei decides to kill herself. But then she is promptly taken to the hospital with the help of De Gui's cousin, this man, and he is also a village teacher. Mei's life is saved. When she is back to the village, the family sends another woman trying to persuade Mei to give up the fight. It turns out that this woman was also sold to the village against her will. Unlike Mei, this woman had decided to give in to the situation. She tells Mei to do the same. At least do it for now, and when people let their guards down, she could find the opportunity to leave. Mei takes her advice. She cuts her hair and starts eating. The cousin who teaches at a local school brings over some books for Mei. On the surface, it seems Mei is adapting to the local life pretty well, but really she's observing everything, find every opportunity to leave. The other woman told her that there's a hilly pathway that will lead to the motorway from where she could go to the town. And there's a local postman who would bring letters to the nearby town every week. And one day when the women of the village are washing their clothes by the river, Mei finds a chance to go. But when she hits the motorway, the passing by van wouldn't take her because she has no money on her. And soon she's caught by De Gui and other men of the village. She's badly bitten. So after that, the cousin comes more often and brings Mei more books, but his true intention isn't that benevolent. It turns out that the cousin also fancies Mei, and Mei also sees the cousin as a way out of this. So they do it. Mei asks the postman to deliver the letter to her family, who is still unaware of her disappearance. One day the municipal governor is visiting. All women illegally sold to the village were taken to the woods. They're hiding this from the municipal governor. It appears that everyone in the village is a part of this crime. In the New Year's Eve, the cousin and Mei had another affair. Then they talk about Mei's escape. The cousin keeps telling Mei it's not the right time. And just when Mei is losing her patience, De Gui barges in. It's easy for the cousin. He only has to leave the village. But that's not an option for Mei. So at this point, Mei knows that she can't rely on anyone else. What she needs is money. One day, Mei is at the local shop, getting something for the family. Seeing Mei on her own, the shop owner becomes a little bit touchy. Perhaps too touchy. Mei sold her body for some cash. With the cash, Mei decides to try again. This time she makes it to the motorway. And with the cash, she buys her way to the nearby town, from where she could take a bus to the main city, and once she's in the big cities, she'll be fine. But De Gui and his friends are soon arriving in town as well. Mei is on the bus and just about to leave town, then the bus is stopped by De Gui. Mei begs the bus driver not to stop the bus, but the driver doesn't want to get in trouble, so he stops the bus. Mei's escape plan again fails. Throughout the film, so many people have turned a blind eye to Mei's situation. The shop owner, the bus driver, the governor of the village, the cousin, the woman who was also sold to the village. They're not perpetrator of the crime, but they're certainly part of the complicity that contributes to Mei's predicament. Now I understand why this movie is called Blind Mountain. One day Mei finds out that she's pregnant. Since she's pregnant, the family spares her of the labor-intensive farm works. So Mei becomes quite free. So she takes the time to relaunch the local school and she becomes a friend of the children. Finally, Mei gives birth to a boy. Some more time had passed, but Mei still hasn't given up. She keeps sending letters to the outside world through the help of the postman, but nothing had returned. What Mei wasn't aware was all of the letters were intercepted by De Gui. The postman just simply handed them in. One of the school pupils sees this and he offers to help. So finally, Mei's letter for her rescue was sent in the post. And one day, unexpectedly, arrives a police van. Two policemen get out of the van along with Mei's father. He has finally received a letter from Mei and comes to her rescue with the help of the police. But it's not that simple. They are soon surrounded by angry villagers. The police turn to the governor for help, but the governor tells the police to leave Mei and find another solution. Seeing there's no other way out of this, the police decide to leave Mei here for now and promise her to return with more legal enforcement. Mei's father decides to stay behind with Mei. Just when the police van leaves the village, Mei and her father are like human punchbacks to De Gui. And just when Mei's father is bitten on the ground, Mei grabs her cleaver on the floor with the rolling credit. The movie ends abruptly, but it leaves the audience some space to reflect on the story. Blind Mountain has got a consistent high rating on different platforms. On IMDb it's rated 7.4 out of 10, and on Rotten Tomato it's rated 87 out of tomato score, 82 out of audience score. On the Chinese movie rating site Douban it's rated 8.5 out of 10. The director Li Yang had also made other films of the same theme with the same tone. If you're interested I could do summaries of his other films. Please just let me know in the comments below. And with that, I would like to thank you for tuning in today. Please subscribe and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.